Hey everybody, today we are going to be going over section 6.3, adding and subtracting polynomials. We've seen what polynomials are and we've seen how we can combine like terms, and so for the first part of this section, the adding of polynomials, it's really the same. So adding polynomials is the same as combining like terms. So if I had a polynomial such as 3x squared minus 4, and I want to take this polynomial and add it and combine it with this polynomial, 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. Oops, there's a 1. When I'm adding polynomials, this is really the same as just having one big long polynomial. So I can actually drop these brackets and just write it out as if it was one big long polynomial. And then we start combining the like terms. And we went over how to do that last time. Let's take a look at the 3x squared here. It needs a friend. Do we have any other x squared terms? Yes, we do, right there. So let's combine that together. That gives me 7x squared. The next term is this negative 4. It's a constant. So do we have any other constants, any numbers with no variables? Yeah, there's another one right there. So negative 4 with positive 1 is negative 3. And then what else is left? We just have this 2x. No other like terms, so we just tack that on. Now, I mentioned before that when we write out these polynomials in its final form, we typically like to write it from highest to lowest degree. So I'm going to actually rearrange this just a little bit. I'll start with the highest degree term, 7x squared. The second highest is this 2x. And then the lowest degree term is my constant. So I'm going to rewrite the answer like so. And that's it. That's how you add polynomials. Real simple. The tricky part is when we have to subtract polynomials. So let's take a look at that next. When subtracting polynomials, we must change the sign on each of the terms being subtracted before we combine like terms. Let's take a look at what that means. We'll start with an example. Let's take 2x plus 3, that's one polynomial. Let's subtract 5x negative 4. So 5x minus 4. Okay? I want to take this first polynomial, this 2x plus 3, and from it, I want to take away this second polynomial, this 5x minus 4. Now, what you should not do is don't treat this like an addition and go ahead and just drop the brackets right away and think, oh, well, I got a minus and this is a 5x and this negative 4 stays put. You can't do that, right? This is actually wrong and it's a very common mistake. So I don't want you guys to make this mistake. What we have to do here is we need to think, all right, I want to subtract this entire polynomial. Every single piece inside of that second polynomial, I want to take that away. So if you think about this, what's going to end up happening is this 2x plus 3, that's fine. That doesn't change. But here I'm subtracting 5x minus 4. So that means I'm going to subtract 5x. So when it pops out of this, it should be a negative 5x. And then I want to subtract negative 4. So if I were to subtract -4, I would end up subtracting -4, which is the same as adding +4. So that turns into a +4. And so you can see what's happening is this negative sign here is being distributed across each term in the polynomial, right? So you get a negative, you get a negative. And after they each receive that negative, then I can write it out as one long polynomial. So now I have 2x plus 3 minus 5x plus 4. And then we can combine these like terms. So at this point, we're back to the business of combining like terms. This 2x goes with this negative 5x to give me negative 3x. And this positive 3 goes with this positive 4 to give me positive 7. And then that's my final answer. Okay? So the last couple of steps are the same. We're just combining like terms, but that first step, that at the very beginning, is very, very important. If you have addition, just go ahead and combine the like terms. But if you have subtraction, make sure you change the sign on each of the terms in that second polynomial, that polynomial that you're subtracting. Let's do one more example, just to make sure you all got the hang of it. So I'll call this example A. Let's take a look at an example B. So in example B, we will have negative 4m cubed plus 5m squared minus 2m plus 1. I have a nice long polynomial here. And I want to subtract from it negative 2m squared positive 5m, and plus 3. Okay, so that's the polynomial that I want to subtract. Okay. Now, as usual, this first polynomial is good to go. We don't have to worry about that. We can simply write this out as negative 4m cubed plus 5m squared minus 2m plus 1. Okay, that one's not a problem. It's this one here, the second polynomial that I'm subtracting, that I need to deal with each of these terms. So for each of these terms, I'm taking this negative and making sure it's being applied to every single one of these terms. I have a negative 2m squared. Okay, I want to subtract negative 2m squared. So when I have minus negative 2m squared, that is the same as adding 2m squared. I have this positive 5m. I want to subtract positive 5m, which is the same as subtracting 5m. So that's a negative 5m. I have this positive 3, but I want to subtract 3. So that's the same thing as having a negative 3. Okay? And after I've applied that negative to each of these terms, now I can treat this as one big long polynomial and combine all the like terms. We'll start with the negative 4m cubed term. That one has no other like terms, so negative 4m cubed. This positive 5m squared, well, I have this positive 2m squared. That together gives me 7m squared. And then I have this negative 2m with this negative 5m, that's negative 7m. And my positive 1 goes with this negative 3 to give me negative 2. And I'm going to double check. Yes, I have all of these terms in descending order of degree, so I don't have to rearrange anything. This is perfect the way it is. There you go. All done. Okay, and that's it. That's how you add and subtract polynomials. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next one.